Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today. I spoke too soon. Remember when I picked up the iPad, I did this whole thing. Whoa, positive BioWare news. Isn't that crazy? Well. That was short-lived. It wasn't even a friggin' week. Okay, so I know I'm a couple of days late to this news. Elden Ring, it was a bit of an event, so thank you so much for being patient as we get around to another spicy batch of BioWare news. Again, another update is dropped for Dragon Age 4, and there is some positivity mixed in here, but it comes with the same story we've been seeing the last couple of years. Another major figure from BioWare has made their exit. So we're going to talk about all of that, the status of Dragon Age 4, and plenty more. Again, thank you so much for your patience. And now, let's talk about BioWare. I said last video that, hey, these BioWare news updates aren't super frequent, but maybe things are changing because it looks like they're planning more. So we'll certainly be talking a lot about Dragon Age 4 this year. Now, let's get started. So all of this comes from a brand new post on the BioWare blog. It's their official website where they update us on typically people leaving the studio, but otherwise, it's updates on their games. So this one comes from Gary McKay, the current GM over at BioWare, and here's what they write. Hello, last month you heard from me as we reflected back on 2021 and looked ahead to 2022 with the goal to communicate more often with our community and fans around the world. With that in mind, let's start with the next game in development, the new Dragon Age. I just want to pause in the middle right there. If this is going to be something a little bit more regular, I actually appreciate that. BioWare going dark is not really smart. They need to check in with the audience pretty often because I think there will become an urgency internally to actually finish things. If you all didn't see, there was a video by Mark Dara where he talked about the hockey stick-like development and how this can sort of, we'll say, clog up the process over time where there's no urgency to finish things, but suddenly at the end, the curve goes up and they just finish a lot of things at once. So for them, I think there will be an internal urgency if they're communicating more to the public, like we're doing this, aka it's got to be done by a certain point in time. As you may know, there are a few different stages to a game's development. First are the concept and pre-production phases, when a team works on the creative vision for the game and starts laying down the technical foundations, basically creating the conceptual and technological blueprint for the game. Iteration and flexibility are key here, as ideas and game mechanics are proposed, tested out, and refined. Once the blueprint is complete, the production phase begins. Production is all about executing on the blueprint, taking those ideas and turning them into a working game. Eventually, a team hits alpha and then beta, where the polish happens and the things that are really special come to life. For the next Dragon Age, we're right in the middle of production, which is a great feeling. Our blueprint was completed last year, so we're focusing right now on building our vision, creating amazing environments, deep characters, strong gameplay, impactful writing, emotional cinematics, and much more. The blueprint for the game is also well understood and the team is focused. Okay, so we're just going to keep hitting the timeout here throughout this entire write-up. To me, this actually is solid to hear because what it means is that effectively, if they're in the production state right now, they've restarted Dragon Age 4 through and through. We didn't know how much was retained of the live service version of Dragon Age 4, but what this tells me is that version's gone. Because if they're in the production phase right now, we're looking at what Jeff Grubb had reported, that late 2023, probably 2024 release. And that's about as much time as they need to weed out the old, bring in the new, with a project that has effectively been restarted. So to me, this is a good sign. It will demand patience. It will be a much longer wait. All of that does suck, but BioWare needs to give Dragon Age the respect it deserves to make it truly great again. So honestly, I'm okay with waiting, even if it's going to be a little bit torturous. But so far, you're probably wondering, where's the bad? What's going on, Matty? It's not too bad so far. You're finding some positive points in here. Well, I don't know if I can find one here, so let's keep going. As we continue our journey, we wanted to wish Christian Daly a heartfelt farewell from BioWare. Christian started with us back in 2018, has been a big influence on our games and leadership team, most recently as executive producer over Dragon Age's development. The games industry is ever changing though, and sometimes folks want to go and try new things. We understand, but we will miss him as a friend and as a colleague. All right, so what's really interesting about this is we got to rewind the clock a little bit further here because we got to talk about Mark Dara, who was a 23-year veteran at BioWare, who served as, you guessed it, executive producer for Dragon Age, amongst many other things he did at his time at BioWare. but this was his most notable role, really overseeing Dragon Age. And the person who filled his shoes was Christian Daly, who Mark had said had, the utmost confidence in. And now Christian, after just even 4 years max, has left BioWare. And now that position was vacant once more. This is kind of the same issue that's been happening with BioWare. The shoes keep getting filled in the same spot by new people. The GM, we went through Aaron Flynn, Casey Hudson, Gary McKay. Who knows who's after Gary? It's something with Edmonton. I don't know how many of you are sports fans, but I'm an Oilers fan. And oh my God, the amount of coaches that team has been through. It's literally something about Edmonton. I don't know. In all seriousness, though, let's talk about the fact that BioWare has lost yet another major figure, right? Is it on the level of a Casey Hudson, Aaron Flynn, Mark Dara? No, those are long-standing, multi-decade veterans. I'm not going to blow this one out of proportion here and sound the alarms because this person wasn't around so long to make an impact, but it's the same position that's been left vacant now twice, and those shoes are tough to fill, right? The executive producer role is overseeing the entire production of the game and helping put these pieces together and rearranging them right. Like, that's what production is, keeping everyone in line. So someone just stepping into that isn't super easy. I mean, really anything in game development, it's not easy just to step into it. But you get my point that it's not like something you pick up in a week and go, oh, okay, I got this now. I got the hang of it. It's like you gotta really hit the ground sprinting. But wait, there is more. A strong leadership team of industry and Dragon Age veterans is in place to carry us through production and beyond. The game's production director is Mac Walters, who recently led the development for Mass Effect Legendary Edition and has an 18-year history with BioWare. Corinne Bush has been leading the design direction for Dragon Age, is our game director. She has a wealth of experience, including 15 years at EA and a passion for the franchise. Benoit Hole is the director of product development, and he brings an in-depth understanding of the franchise thanks to having worked on every single Dragon Age game starting 16 years ago on Dragon Age Origins. I will also be working more closely with the Dragon Age team as they go through their production while continuing to guide the studio. Okay, so we can get back into a bit more of a positive stride here. I will totally admit a blind spot. I'm not familiar with some of these names, but there is one that absolutely stands out, and that is Mac Walters. For those of you who've been watching a lot of my BioWare coverage, specifically my Mass Effect Legendary Edition coverage, Mac Walters was the project director for that game, and I really complimented him because to me, he kind of had that, for those of you who are familiar with Xbox, you'll know Rod Ferguson. He's the guy who's been brought in on a lot of projects as sort of the stabilizing, steady hand that says, we're going to get this thing out. He's been brought in on a number of different projects. And Mac kind of gave me that feeling there, understanding the mission and getting the job done. Not really overdoing it, but not underselling it. And I think when you look at Mass Effect Legendary Edition, it's exactly that. Not overdoing it on the front of Mass Effect 2 and 3, which just kind of needed some cleanups. And of course, you could argue for Mass Effect 3, let's do some extra content, do some things with the endings, go a million miles with it, sure. But with Mass Effect 1, the task was well understood. Let's effectively remake this game in its systems, in its camera, its mechanics, the Mako, etc., right? I feel like he did a great job directing this project. So to know that he is moving now into Dragon Age territory is, to me, very encouraging. Again, the rest I can't speak to, but knowing that there are people on the team who have been working on it since Origins, hopefully they'll understand what made this series special in the first place. Of course, it'll still have action combat. We've already seen that in the pre-production trailers. But even with these positive notes, when people are constantly shifting all over the place, no one can get comfortable and ease into a rhythm and a routine. And to me, that's extremely disappointing because it absolutely does affect the development timeline of this game, which is also possibly another reason why it takes so long to come out. It's like maybe it really would have come out in fall 2023, but now it's 2024 because we got to move things around again. And then who else leaves in that time period? Because people have been leaving consistently. So who's next? Later this year, you'll start to hear more from the Dragon Age team in the form of blogs and social content. As we move through development, we'll also be in regular communication with players who sit on our community council. As passionate fans like you, we take their feedback seriously, and we are also listening to all of you as you share your thoughts and experiences, so keep talking to us. I hope they're listening. I know a lot of people from BioWare watch this, so, well, hello, first and foremost, but you know, to me, the reveal stuff being too late, this was the biggest problem I had with Mass Effect. Just zit, please, okay? Like, this is something that you don't need to do, in my eyes, at least. Maybe this is coming way sooner than anyone's reported, but we don't need to see the game yet, because for some reason, BioWare revealed Mass Effect, the next Mass Effect game, which we're not seeing until the end of this generation for damn sure. Because if this game's not arriving until 2024, like, what, Mass Effect in 2028? It's going to be a while. Let's be realistic with ourselves. If we're talking concept art and stuff, we've already seen that. We kind of have an idea of it. And while I want BioWare to be more communicative about the development process, you know, you start to kind of wander into crowdfunding territory of like, we've done this and we've done that and check it out in motion. And maybe that's what they're going to do, which would be very different for AAA development. A kind of odd level of transparency that I'd be somewhat okay with. But I don't trust EA to really be for that. I think it's going to be more like, let's get this thing marketable. Let's show them a little bit of gameplay. And it's like, no, now we're walking into the Anthem cycle. When it's too early, it's too early. Don't do that. They're saying they have a blueprint laid out, but like, look, this has happened twice now, like where the games have been drastically different from when they were first revealed. Let's just tap the brakes a little bit. And, you know, if we see something at the Game Awards this year, that's one thing, right? The end of 2022, okay, we're getting closer into Dragon Age 4 territory. But if we're talking like summer this year, just hold it. Just hold it. On other fronts, our Star Wars The Old Republic team, led by Keith Koenig, recently celebrated 10 years of amazing storytelling with the launch of our latest expansion, Legacy of the Sith. The team hasn't stopped with just launching the expansion and is already focused on more updates to continue the celebration all year long. You can see our launch trailer for the release here, which was a creative collaboration with Industrial Light and Magic, and we absolutely love it. And of course, we're also working on the next Mass Effect. The team led by Mike Gamble is made up of a team of veteran developers as well as some new, really talented people. They are all actively prototyping new ideas and experiences. AAA next-gen games take a long time to make, and we know our fans may want them sooner, but our number one priority needs to be quality, and that simply takes time to get it right. Okay, so now we're kind of, sort of, talking out of both sides of our mouth here. Like, I imagine Dragon Age 4 will be AAA next-gen only, and it's likely coming at the end of 2023, 2024. It's, you know, that's the thing. It's like, you know, if the number one priority is quality, then don't show it yet. We love the communication, but don't show it yet. I don't know. I'm not even trying to complain for the sake of complaining here. Just, I think that this is becoming a very messy situation. You can clearly see they're trying to communicate like, we're not dead in the water. We're not disappearing. We're not in the dark. Things are happening. Things are moving. And on one front, it's like a battle of two sides. It's like, I get it. Like, I want more from BioWare. I want to hear more from them, see more from them. But at the same time, seeing the game can deliver false expectations and hurt the product more because they're battling not only to just probably stay around after 2 failed games, but they're also battling for the reputation, which could be equally as damaging if they don't fix that with the next game. That's why, as I said in the beginning of this week with the first BioWare video, I find it kind of crazy that BioWare is sitting there going like, no, we're not going to remaster the trilogy. Do you really have that much of a gut feeling that you're going to nail Dragon Age 4? You can be like, we don't need the free money. We don't need to just touch up these games, spend like maybe 2 years on them, making sure they all work together nicely in a little remastered package, changing what little things need to be changed. We really think we're okay with that now when this game clearly is on an up and down development roller coaster? I don't know. Not trying to fearmonger at all. I just think that this is reasonable criticism based off the history of BioWare. And I'm talking recent history, not things that were 8 to 10 years ago. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I leave my thoughts here in your hands. What do you think about what's going on over at BioWare? Are you concerned? Am I overreacting? It could be possible. I'm human. But let me know, because this is a company that I know we all care about. So fire away. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the hell out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.